So, hello, y'all. Just got a little interaction here. So what? So you're asking me?
So you have no plates on your vehicle, correct?
Right.
And I asked you for a driver's license. Do you have registration and insurance?
I'm not sure how that applies to this situation. I mean, if the car has no plates, it says out of service. Moving to storage. Like,
What
I don't
is
understand
that?
what
If you're able to know.
there's a. It's right in the window there.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't able to see it.
Right.
You have
Do you have your name and badge numbers?
I sure do. It's badge.
Okay. And you, sir?
010.
All right.
We take a picture of that. We'll run the VIN. Is your car, sir?
I mean, I'd rather. I mean,
you don't have a choice because you parked on a city street in a 2-hour parking.
No, I have choice to do. I have many choices.
You do have choices. That's why we contacted you. You have no plates on your car. Okay,
Right.
that's it.
So, and this door doesn't have to be open. So, and this window doesn't work.
Okay, well, then leave it open like that. We're talking.
Yeah, but then you're gonna go and
You're gonna get a parking ticket for sure. At the very minimum, you're gonna get a parking ticket for having no plates on your car. That's it. I don't even need to know who you are because you're legally parked, but your car doesn't have plates. Okay, check.
What's up, Barry Frost?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel
You
good.
feel good?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Let us figure out the thing, and then we'll get you a citation. You can get on your way. Fair enough?
That sounds okay.
Okay. We'll be right back to you, sir. Thank you.
All right. So when you open a door like that, they can't do that VIN. I mean, they could run the VIN. That's all right. But it's like, I'd rather give it to them. You know what I mean? But my window doesn't work. I don't know. Citation for what? Legally parked? That's a great question. Citation for what? Well, you're legally parked. You're not doing anything wrong, but we are going to give you a citation. Or they're probably for no plates. For being parked with no plates. You can't be parked with no plates, I guess. Yep, you're right, Paul. I gotta stand my ground because like my man Julian and Virgil were kind of similar in those situations where they went for a couple of days, but then right at the end they end up signing something, which I'm not trying to do. So we got a call. It's always we got a call. Yeah, but there's no plates. This thing doesn't go to anything and it's not even. It doesn't even go to my mom when it's like registered. It's like I don't know what the fuck this thing. They're gonna say, oh, it used to be registered to my mom, because when they pull it up, it either comes up nothing, or used to be. So it's not really registered to anyone. So I don't know who this ticket's going to. My car is sort of in a void. Yeah, they try to be like, you got to do this, you got to do that. I was like, I don't have to do anything, dude, except follow my conscience. The point I was trying to make to him. They do get me a little. I get that little shake, that a little adrenaline shake going, but it's all good. The more comfortable you get with this shit, they just kind of come with the flashlight out of the blue. Yo.
What's up?
Yeah, no, they just come asking questions. Same thing as the last time, basically, except this time they're like, well, you're definitely getting a ticket, because
Right. So you have to start deciding how you want to handle this, because it's not going to go away if you keep moving around that way. How they react with you or respond, obviously, it changes depending on the area and who it is, and there's a bunch of variables. But he was at first trying to tell you what you were going to do, and as soon as he felt that energy from you that you were going to govern yourself, he switched up and tried to act all nice, kind, and polite. So that's fine. If he has a belief, he could write up whatever he wants. I wouldn't accept anything as far as agreeing to anything or signing anything. At best, and again, we're all practicing. My new thing is if he's going to put it on the car or somewhere, if he wants to leave it on the windshield under the wiper or whatever, and then when he leaves, I may retrieve it and then just send it back. And right across it, I would write something to the effect of, non-assumpsit, not liable, whatever, just to communicate to them that I'm not. But I mean, even then, they have to do proper service. They can mark down whatever they want. At that point, then you're almost admitting. There's different ways to look at it. You're almost admitting that you got it and you read it and you understand it to a degree. If not, you're returning their property to them and you're not agreeing to show up. So again, they're trying to get you in contract. They're trying to use this plate and all this other shit to get revenue off of you. They're trying to enter you into a commercial capacity. So he's a servant, a man and woman. He's not here to interfere with your rights. You're not causing loss, injury, and harm, nor are you breaching the peace. Nor do you have to agree contractually, of course, to follow their codes, which are redundant, right? I also don't see any man or woman who's the complainant. So I don't know who's going to show up at court and say, Brian O'Shea did XYZ. All we have is a partial agent of a state of corporation and no complainant or witness on the other side. So this is another big waste of time, energy, and attention. There's better things these clowns could be doing, and it's illegitimate.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing with cracking the door open because my window don't work. But I mean, they could attempt to get the VIN on the front, but they love when I crack this door open. They'd like to look at that VIN and make sure no one stole this car. Like someone's looking for this fucking car.
Is the car reported stolen? If not, then they really have no business. Nor do you, as far as I understand, have to comply with anything that they perceive or wish, right? They're in a public service capacity. He's supposed to be serving you. He's not supposed to be interfering with your rights and your property, right? As we know. So this has been part of the problem that needs to be solved is they need to know their place and their position. If you'd like, I'll try to remain calm and give him notice that he's interfering with your property and rights and that you don't plan on following any of these codes because you're following the law as you understand it, nor can they compel you to perform for them. So, we could go from there. And again, if you go to court and take any one of these things through and just don't say anything, there's a good chance they're going to dismiss you because they have to prove their case. He's not going to show up at court. If he does, he's not third party impartial and there's no one on the other side. So you just get dismissals. You start to gamble, get dismissals, and then you sue these motherfuckers. You drag his chubby ass into court, right, through summons, like I'm doing now, and say, answer for yourself. What makes you think you have a right to walk up on somebody, interfere with their rights and property because you have a belief or someone wrote down a code? Is the code in the room with us right now?
Right. And I love when it happens like, this is the day before Thanksgiving, it's cold, it's snowing, my car is filled with snow, and I was just resting, in a car. And I love when and another thing I want to point is like the power, like my main thing I'm starting to learn from this stuff is the man always has the power, especially when he's not injured another man. So I have all the power in this situation. That's what I got to remember as they're walking back up.
Got your live stream going still?
Yep.
Perfect.
So I have this parking ticket. Ready?
You can put it on windshield if you want, or do whatever you're doing with it.
Have a good day, Kay. Take care of yourself.
Hey, can we get your name and badge number and card and everything?
Yeah, they gave them, but they're not looking to
All right,
run.
well, they seem kind of, it's weird. Why wouldn't they want to hang out, stand around and hang around? They seem like really uppity and ready to get out of here. Kind of weird. Right. They used to be like really into hanging out and talking and even like playing a little bit, patty cake, little hands-on action. Now they seem real like ready to just kind of, oh, hey, yeah, by the way. All right, yeah, we'll see you later. Bye. It's like, yeah, because now. There's no denying we changed the game on Denver and we're going to keep doing it. They already been given notice that they can't escalate and they can't criminalize traffic offense. They also now know that we have an ability to contract or not. So the game is over. They have no more power. They're going through the last ditch efforts, going through the motions, mailing it in, and it's going nowhere. Right. So as we speak in this moment right now, once again, to me, this is a small, even if 1% proof that they don't have the power. They never did. We have it, and we're not relinquishing it now because we know the difference. And now you got to kill us or put us in a box. Sorry. We don't want to live in slavery and genocide for the rest of our lives. And yeah, we have rights and we have a voice and we have power. And that's what this system was created for to begin with. So everything back as it should be. See how easy and quick it's getting? See how easy and quick it's getting? It was like it didn't even happen. Back to hanging out on the block.
Right. Got my little weed right here that was right in front of them. I might even twist it up right in front of their
Fuck
face.
it, yeah.
But it's like truly, people, like the power, it's such a powerful thing, like to keep using the word, but like just know that. Just know in this situation, they're the servants. Like something has gone wrong. They're supposed to be like helpful to us and work with us when it's completely out of control tyranny as it is now. It's just wrong, and you have to stand up. You have to just have an understanding, even if you can't apply it. Just understand where the power is, and it'll be easier to apply. And I think this goes into the courtroom too. I think I know that this applies in a courtroom. Know that judge, whether you're in front of Fleischer or whatever, you have the power, especially if there's no other man on the other side that you've done anything to. Like if it's just this weird invisible entity that they're a security force for, like you have all the power no matter what. And when you stand on business and you take it all the way to the end, and then then you're gonna have opportunities for lawsuits and different things. But when you stand on business, like they have nothing, like Paul says. It's just everything that Paul talks about. But I'm learning through this process that it's all true, and it's very valuable. So I recommend to anyone to practice with this civil disobedience in this learning about power in all situations. Like most of the time, if you're just a good person who doesn't cause loss and charm, you always have the power as a man. Like you're very, very powerful. They don't have it. They could flex in front and bluff, but they don't have it.
Bro, how I'm starting to see it now is that's like God with a hand puppet on that just walks up and goes, hey, I'm so scary. I'm this, and you should be scared. And then when you don't, they're like, here's a blank check. That's all he just wrote you was a blank check. If you just keep getting this shit dismissed and taken to court, it's like one of these days you're going to hit, and then all the shit people have been talking and all the rest of it isn't going to matter, because that's going to be your career, non-career. It's just suing these fucking clowns every time they want to interfere with your rights and property. You're bound to hit one at some point, right? So you get 70, 100, whatever it is. And then, you put yourself in a little bit of a better position, right? Or you live off that. I'm not saying you shouldn't work and do other things as well, but it's like all the things, right? So, yeah, man, once you see through it and you see the power that we have and how this system was created to be and how to use it, you realize he just did you a favor. He literally just wrote you a ghetto lottery ticket if you play it right.
Right, and it's also the reverse. Like when they see a man acting like this, something's gonna click in their head. Whereas, opposed to every other retard they go to, just gives away their power. Like so, he, not that I give a fuck if he learns anything, but something's going on in their brains where they just saw something different than maybe what happens all day or most of the day, and the people they interact with. So, yeah, and like Paul said, something different's going on here in Denver. So even though the town sucks, I can't fucking do stand-up comedy because they're so sensitive. I'm probably gonna have to move on, but like it's kind of like Jesus did. He just went from town to town, like leaving his mark and pissing people off and just going to the next one and just bringing that power with him and letting people react how they're going to react. So yeah, but I appreciate you hopping up on panel. They didn't want to have a back and forth. It would have been nice to have a little back and forth, because the first thing he says is, you still got your live stream on? Like, why would he ask? And even in the beginning when I turn it on, they're like, they're like, what are you doing? Looking for your ID on your phone? I go, no, I'm starting a live stream. They go, what are you doing that for? And then that's when it turns on, and I go, well, you got your body cams on, right? And I said, well, what do you do? What do you got that on for? Like, it's the same shit. And then he wanted to focus on it. Yeah, and then he ran. He had that fake smile. I got your live stream on, right? Like he was pissed. He's like enraged about it, but he's trying to like.
No, they like it. They're like, they're begging you to make a change. That's how I see it. I go, every time they're laughing and giggling and doing whatever, they're just saying, Paulie, we beg you to make a change because we're cowards and we're not going to do it. So please do it for us and you and everyone else. And I'm like, okay, thank you for giving me that opportunity. You're obviously shook to death. You obviously don't want it with the truth,
Right. It's like when Fleischer and that guy came in, you know, with a different presentment. And Fleischer's like, "Oh, I love this. I've been waiting so long for this." And he's speaking truthfully, he admits it. He's sick of, you know, like you say, like just bitch slapping slaves up all day long. They love it when there's something different, when there's the truth sort of enters the room.
Bro, Fleischer was nicer to the supposed Sovset, regardless of headlines, than he was to every other slave who begs him and lies to him. There's no denying it. He like literally held his hand through the whole thing and was like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, why do you think that? All right, you know, it doesn't work that way here, but I don't care. You guys, I'll just say, I'll go, okay, yeah, that's great. You say it doesn't work here like that. It does with inside of me. Like whatever works the way it does inside of me is what matters. I'm not interested in how it works around here. You know, you're not going to overwrite my internal guidance system. You know, so." You don't have to be mean and arguing about that. In a way, you diffuse all of their power when you're not mean and belligerent and arguing. You're just like, no, this is who I am. This is what I understand. This is what I'm going to do. No offense, but I don't understand anything you're saying, and it's not really meaningful to me. You know, like just like you told that woman in that one intro. You know, maybe you're making a mistake. Like, I don't need anyone to tell me what I'm doing and what I understand. This is bizarre. You know, and they're just so not used to that. It just takes all the power out of them. Like, what? You're someone who thinks for yourself and can govern yourself, and you're not going to fight us or run, and you're not going to lie and bullshit. It just completely deflates their argument and their false power system.
Yeah. And then they'll like think, see, that's not going to work here. Like either if a judge says it or they say it, see, this ain't going to work. What you're saying ain't going to work. And like, see, we're going to tow your car and we're going to arrest you. See, it's not working. But you got to have, that's why the surrender has to come in before the interaction. Like I have to already plotted this out, not like that idiot on the side of the road who completely caved with his wife and children. Like it's working, like the great work, if you want to put it like it's work, like it's working. It works if you work it, right? They're saying AA. So like they could
it's
say,
"Oh, that's
not
working because you're getting more faithful." Your last couple interactions, you're just like in control of yourself. You're in charge with the energy. You're answering their questions or telling them who and what you are. It's totally working based on my rubric. You're getting more empowered, more inspired, more faithful, more peaceful, and able to just do the next right thing and realize that they don't really have the power to own you and tell you what to do. Like you just told that guy, you go, "There's many choices." You try to say, "You have no choice." No, I do. And I'm going to show you today. Right. And then that's when his energy completely switched up. Right. It was palpable.
Yep. Yeah, see, I miss little things like that. But yeah, you're exactly right. You just hone right in on the exact moment. And yeah, they don't have it, dude. And yeah, they love it, man. The truth, people have to love the truth instinctually. Like they love it, dude. Like yeah, and no matter what, dude, like you said, working on my faith for my other presentment when I did get arrested, they're like, "Oh, he didn't do nothing," but I still stood my ground and didn't give the ID. But yeah, it is leveling up. I am learning. So it is working for me, no matter what they. And then we have to remember this in the courtroom, I believe, too. Like if they you get the wrong judge, and he starts giving you, "That's not going to work here. We don't play that here." But there's a realm where it works. Like no matter what they do, they could give me the death penalty. They could do anything. Not that that's likely, but they could incarcerate me for years and years and say, see, it didn't work. But we have to remember that it is working. But it is harder for like the outside observers to be like, "Oh, he got 3 years in jail," and we want to follow what he does. But when you start to understand this stuff, man, it's like you know when it's working or not. You know when your faith is activated or not. Like look at my heritage, the Irish people. Didn't they do all types of they fasting, they like, you know, hunger strikes? Weren't they willing to die of hunger in these prisons? Like the Irish are badass in that regard. You know, before this whole 9/11 terrorist, where they used to be the masters of like the IRA, the Irish Republic Army, like just standing on business. Like I'm not saying I'm trying to get violent, and they weren't even trying to really be violent, but I guess they were with some of those building bombings, but they'd wait till they were empty. But my point is, yeah, it's just building your faith and standing on business, what your business is. So I'm grateful for that little interaction. You know, some dweeb in the neighborhood, "Oh my God," you know, calling the cops on someone for sleeping in the car the day before Thanksgiving, bro. It's just, and it's snow, dude. There's snow everywhere. Like it's just, I don't get it, dude. I don't understand what's in these people's mind. They're so scared. There's a plate with no car. There's a car with no plates, and it's low to the ground and it's a little beat up. And they're just so terrified. Like, I don't understand how that just terrifies people, dude. They can't just look around their neighborhood. I get way more terrified of other things, dude. Someone with a mask. You know, you go to the pharmacy, you'll see these fuckers getting double injections, flu injection, vaccine injection. That shit terrifies me. How the fuck am I so terrifying? I guess if I clean up a decent different vehicle or something, but it's just funny to me, dude. And then they got to call another man. Like, the neighborhood can't have a leader or a man to come. Like, some asshole tried it the other day. Some drunken idiot threatened my life. I got to film of it. 2 days before Thanksgiving, some neighborhood fucking jackass a few blocks away knocks on my shit with his dog, some ex-crackhead, his jaw going all crazy. And I go, dude, don't ever knock on my shit again. Don't fucking bother me at all. Don't fucking talk to me at all. And he goes, I'm going to go get my gun and shoot you. Right? I'm going to go get my gun and shoot you. And then I have to go get out of the car, go film him and his dumb family while he continues to make threats. His family continues to fucking be retarded. They end up calling the police. It's just a whole nother situation. It's just a whole nother thing, dude. I don't understand these people. And some dumb slave, some yuppie slave goes, got no plates in that car, huh? Just gonna keep doing it until your luck runs out, huh? Your luck runs out.
Right. Faithless slave doesn't know the difference between walking in faith and thinking it's about luck.
Right. That's why I had and then I go, you're a dumb slave. I go, now I got to put the focus on you and embarrass you in front of in front of the neighbors. Cause I was minding my business, but you want something from me. So now you're going to get it. You know what? That happens to me, dude. I was pissing on this abandoned building, dude, minding my business in the middle of nowhere. And some fucking Yahoo comes up. Oh, you're pissing in public, Bob. And I go, bro, you should have just minded your business. I made sure that I'm very fucking like covert, like no one. And then, but I'm like, yeah. I go, but he was trying to be a gangster guy. I go, but you want an interaction. I go, now you're gonna get it. I go, you're gonna get what you came walking up to me. You should have just minded your own business. Nothing happened. I go, but now you want the interaction. And then he's another guy reaching for something. He goes, because I end up calling him a bitch. I go, you're a fucking bitch. And he's got his like his motorcycle jacket on. He's Mr. fucking whatever, dude, motorcycle gang. And then at the end of it, he goes, yeah, just walk away. And he starts reaching in his jacket, right? Like he's pulling for something, like he's pulling something out. I'm like, you rabid. Yeah. It's like
imagine the idea that we're supposed to be scared of slaves who won't stand for rights and freedoms, like they're going to do anything to you. Oh, he's going to shoot you in the middle of the street while he's telling you indirectly he's scared to not have plates on. Like, I'm not buying it. That's the thing. Most people who threaten with guns and pull guns are not going to use them. And that's the worst thing you can do, is to threaten to use a gun and pull it and not use it. Right. And I go to thinking most people are not going to use it. You know, I go, you can pretty much tell, you know, especially in an interaction like that. Hey, bro, you're telling me you're scared for me about like a misdemeanor ticket, but you're going to shoot me in the street now over words. All right, let's go to jail forever. So let's spice things up.
Right. Yeah, they're down. Yeah, they're willing to sacrifice it all, like to quote unquote put me in my place, but they can't do a little civil disobedience and like our man Julian. He, you know, okay, fine. He signed it. Maybe he made a little mistake there. Well, he made a mistake, but he still learned.
So I bitched out and completely slaved up, but whatever. He had the right. I'm just fucking with him.
I actually do want to touch on that if that's okay, right? Because the whole issue with these guards was that I wouldn't sign the booking papers. I wait for like the 50-something hours. I get done with my arraignment. I walk back to these same guards with a signed order of release. Their boss is telling them to release me, and they still threaten me to keep me, right? So I was like, okay, fuck you. I'm going to sign this, but have fun explaining why I didn't sign these for almost a full 3 days. I didn't sign anything in that courtroom that I just walked out of, but now I'm signing. Is there a reason for that? Does that seem like normal, or does it seem like somebody was still saying, I'm going to ignore my boss's orders and I'm just going to keep you as long as I want to? So I don't
See,
know. I didn't want to
Yeah, no,
find
it's the way I imagine it is. It's like if I'm the Godfather, then I want to always appear to be powerful and reverent and sort of equitable and good faith. But when I'm not looking, maybe in the back, Louis the Wrench, he kind of works you over a little bit. I didn't see it though. I don't know what's going on. And then when I see, I'm like, hey, what's going on? What can I do for you? How can I, Louis the Wrench just kind of worked me over in the back. Oh man, Louis, I got to talk to him. Yeah, he gets a little wild back there. I get it. So what are we talking about here today? And by that point, you're already pimped on. You're already in fear. I already got you. Right. So that's kind of the good cop, bad cop thing, the way I imagine it. The administrators know what's going on. They turn a blind eye to it. And most of the time, they're going to favor on the side of law and what's true and what's right. But Louie and Jimmy and Joey in the back are going to work you over as much as possible to find out who and what you are and what you're about. So by the time you get in front of them, they already got your number, right? That's just kind of how I imagine it in my mind.
I feel the same way in my heart because, like, I knew when I was signing that I didn't know I'm not supposed to be doing this,
Why can't you
yeah,
just
I'm not
follow
afraid
that
to-
impulse? Why can't you ever just hang on to that impulse and follow it, like just to see where it goes? Why can't you practice faith over fear?
That's a good point. I'm not going to say I completely bitched out because I was there for the entire stay until I got that order.
It's not an ego thing. I'm not picking on you. I'm just reminding you for next time. You need to go with the feeling that's in your heart. It's you. That is the higher you. Stop rejecting higher you for lower low lives like these people and their games. You know better.
Yeah, I don't see you.
It doesn't
as picking on
matter
me.
what they tell you.
Yeah, I see you as wanting to get me right, and I appreciate that. So I'm not here like, oh, don't pick on me. Like, no, dude, I felt it. It was when I came back and I started streaming with you that night. It was that emotional, overwhelming of knowing, hey, I almost made it, but you still bitched up at the very last fucking moment. You were so close to not doing it at all, but you still fell short. And yeah, it sucks, but it's great. It's great motivation for the next time these fuckers want to keep trying to threaten me, because now I just know more. Now I know what to expect more. And you're right. There's no excuse for bitching up like that. But I'm not gonna let it stop.
No, we always got to keep living, man. There's no moment we stop and go, should we kill ourselves? Should we feel whatever? There's nothing to even feel about it. It's like, we know what to do. You didn't do it. Next time you definitely need to do it, because you're not going to get what you need out of this journey. You're going to waste your and everyone else's time and energy until you follow that faith and get the result. That's what we're all doing here. You guys need to find that place in your heart that tells you from God what to do next, and just fucking do it. That's the next right thing. And then surrender the rest. I don't care what they tell me. I don't care what the even administrator, I don't care what any of them say or do. I'm going to follow that as much as possible to complete here in this realm. That is the path to completion, is following your heart, like they tell Pinocchio to cut the strings and become a real boy, wish upon a star, and follow your fucking heart. The game is right there. So it's just, again, no one's picking on you. There's not need to be said. You were given an opportunity and you neglected it. So now you need to reflect on that and say, the next time I'm given an opportunity to practice faith and get out of this, whatever I'm meant to get, box or not, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna run with it. And I bet you won't be sorry. I haven't been, no matter what the fuck happens. It almost scares me.
Yeah, because Julian, when you get in front of that judge, dude, like you and a person like Virgil, maybe myself, Paul, but definitely you and Virgil, bro, like for them to keep you, like if you just said, I'm not signing it, and then they would have kept you in there longer. Once the judge finds out about that, dude, it happened to me. Like the judge don't like that shit when like a good person who's not being belligerent, who's standing on business is in front of them, especially if they don't have an ego. If you get a judge with no ego who's going to kind of listen, and they enjoy it. They want these interactions. They get sick of slaving people up. So that could have gone wrong for them in a lot of ways, even in like a lawsuit, bro. Because like the judge said, it's time to go, but you're not going to sign it, so they're going to keep you. Okay, fine, keep me, and then get back in front of the judge and say, I just don't want to sign anything. That's why the judge, in my case, emailed the guards and said, let him out without signing anything. And that's what they did. They listened to him. He goes, I'm not for sure they're going to listen to me, but I'm going to email him. And if they don't listen, we'll be back here tomorrow. And guess what he was probably going to do tomorrow? He was probably just going to release me because they can't just keep you. And how long can they keep you? Like, use your own logic. How long can they keep you if you don't sign? Forever? Let's go for it. Let's, like, this ain't going to make waves and come back at them. And the judge knows he could. There's no injured party. How long could it get? Like, already a few days is way too much for what your little infraction of not handing them an ID and only being charged with secondary charges, like Paul's saying.
Yeah, you're racking up a bill on them, right? You still have the power in the box, but don't realize it because then the clock has started. Keep me in here. Go ahead, and I'm gonna charge you XYZ for each hour, and then I'm gonna hand you a bill at the end of this because you got nobody on the other side, and I didn't do it wrong. So, is it easier said than done in those situations? Of course, but you have to really see it that way. I'm moving in faith. You guys fucked up now. You put me in a box and you ain't got nothing on the other side. So I'm interested to see what you're going to do with this one. That's kind of the attitude you got to have, right? And then while you're in there, say, work on my diet, work on fasting, work on prayer, read, do my exercises, stick to my disciplines, work on my core, right? And my core metaphysically and physically. There's the only thing about the box that scares everybody is they don't know where it's going to go at the time, and they don't have anything else to distract themselves with other than who they are and what they're doing and what's going on with life. That's exactly where the fuck you need to be. How to live without closure, brothers and sisters, and still do the next right thing and have faith. That's all of what life's about. Because oftentimes you don't get answers till it's close to over, whatever over means at the time, right?
Exactly. If I don't make a change, if I don't make that necessary change in myself to stand when my heart is screaming at me to say, bitch boy, what are you doing? How the fuck am I expected to do that at the threat of a gun? If it's just
how are you expected to do that in your fucking relationships or in your family or in your career, in your life? You're going to fail at everything. When I call them loser failures, it's not because I'm condemning them to that. They've condemned themselves to that fate because they're not willing to follow their heart. Many of them are heartbroken. They don't even have the sense to tell them what the next fucking right thing to do is in faith. So if you got that, you're way ahead of the game. And that's what's going to make you successful in all things is when you tap into that heart-based consciousness and you learn to follow it at all costs.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree with you guys more. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just trying to give people an idea of what that experience was like. Obviously, you'll never know until you're the one right there, right? But yeah, for anybody who might be listening out there and still struggling, they're right. You have to stand on those convictions to the end, to the very fucking end. Otherwise, it's just like, what am I doing? I still feel like I'm in a really good position with this whole situation because, at every turn they've had so many opportunities to just say, wait, this guy doesn't seem like he's too worried about us threatening him or threatening to keep his stuff. Maybe we should tread a little more lightly. That's not what I've seen from these people at all. They just keep going harder and harder, and they don't care what comes out of their mouth. And I was kind of comfortable knowing that they were threatening me after seeing a signed order in hand. They're still threatening to keep me just because they want to. And I'm like, are you guys okay with your agents just doing this even though you're saying to do something else? Because I wouldn't be okay if my employees were just running a company of mine however they saw fit, So
yeah, and the way it's interesting how it ends up switching up. Like if you look at Paul's interaction when he got arrested for trespassing. And then how their energy switches up once they get the paperwork of the lawsuit. Like it really doesn't hit them until that moment where it all sort of, it's like your life flashing before your face on like at the moment of death. Like it all like the whole interaction of the original trespass probably just flashes before their eyes, and then they really start to, because it's the same thing with these interactions. They don't really open up until they meet a proper resistance. And for some of them, it's not until that lawsuit paperwork is in their boss's hand and they're all sitting across a conference room from each other, and now they're talking about the situation.
You realize you just described you. We just did that to you again too, right? Like we're back in the reflection therapy that no one here is doing what they need to do till they meet that resistance point where they're served with the papers and then have to go to the next level and put who and what they are on record. We're having the same experience from the opposite side every time we do this. It's another holographic reflection therapy. We're both being given an opportunity at that time. We both need to get hit with the papers. We both need to substantiate who and what we are on record and what we're doing. Because we're both oneself. We're just opposite sides of the perspective on what our role here is. The universe made all this shit for us to experience. We're not even really choosing. We're just aligning with an idea whose time has come on both sides.
Right. And that ego is a motherfucker. Like to have a healthy ego versus a toxic one. To have proper shame, healthy shame versus toxic shame. Proper guilt versus false guilt, false shame. These things aren't easy, especially when you grew up being gaslit that everything's the opposite. So you got to really figure out the truth. And some of us don't do it till they're 50 years old like me, you know? But it's okay because we're on an infinite timeline. 50 years ain't shit on an infinite timeline of this soul journey and this soul education and the education of your spirit, how it's a spiritual test in this physical manifestation. So yeah, it is beautiful in that respect to where, you know, you could ride around with plates all day, but until you start getting some interactions, like that's when a real learning process, just like these guys, they could pull slaves over all day, but until one of them's live streaming and giving some resistance, they're not really getting an education on what's going on in their life. So it's like, yeah. And like, if anyone's trying to test us and cause harm to us, like, you don't really want to welcome it, but it's like, God bless them, because the more you start passing the tests, you just get more resilient and more bulletproof, and your faith is just leveled up that they lose all the power. But it's also great because you get to educate them just like any other slave. They learn more than the fucks on the panel when they get that lawsuit handed to them. I learn when they take me to jail, when they hand me this paperwork. Like, I'm learning about faith, just like they're learning something. They're learning about power dynamics, if nothing else, and how to have a proper ego. You know, especially if we follow through with this stuff. Like, so yeah, Paul's on it as usual.
No, it's not just me, man. You're on it as well.
Yeah. So I just hope that, you know, since some people are closer to me in their journey, it's like a white belt in jiu-jitsu. Like Paul could be a black belt, but our gap is there's such a big gap between white and black. But someone else who's a white belt, and I got a few months in as a white belt, and they're day one white belt, like when it comes to this stuff with the cops, they could see me. It doesn't seem so distant. They could try this too. That's what I hope people are getting out of this. Like, you could do it too, from your cleaner vehicle, your bigger bank account, to the home. You know what I mean? It's just the situations are different. Oh, he's got less to lose. That's why it's easier for him. Well, then you got more to lose, and you could.
Well, then maybe
step up
folks got to learn how to give up some of their pretty and nice things in order to pursue actualization and doing what's right if their things own them. You don't get to make excuses. Oh, I have more money and more things, so I'm less willing to do what's right because I might lose them. That's not how that works.
Right.
You've already lost your self-respect and your future and your dignity. Isn't that worth more than your property and your things that own you? You know, so cart before the horse all the time, right? That's the problem.
Yeah. And
it's
why
really
is
the other side of things. If you got money and you got everything secured and you got more, then it should be easier to do this. When you go to the box, you got nothing to worry about. You're not going to lose nothing. Everything's paid off. Everything's step free. You know, I'm taking some time off now. I'm sitting down. You know, so I don't see it that way. You know, and the same thing goes with family. If you got to sit down for a few months or a few weeks in order to secure rights, freedom, and principles and spiritual faith, well, then you're doing that for yourself and your family. You don't get to avoid that to be in comfort with your supposed family while neglecting your purpose. You do, but that's what created this, right? I mean, you get to do whatever you want, but that's what created this. The weakness and the cowardice. And Snafu, I'm blocking you in chat because you're constantly negative, you're constantly projecting, you're constantly playing power games and making excuses. You just don't want to do what's true and what's right because you're scared like most people. Saying it's not going to matter when martial law hits, as if you already know it's definitely going to hit. It doesn't matter if martial law hit today. Myself and Julian and Brian have gotten experiences we wouldn't trade for anything. So stop trying to poison the well because you're a loser on the outside. Guess what, Snafu? None of your fucking chat comments matter to us when you're in a deathbed again. All right? So stop trying to poison the well and take everybody's firsthand experiences that make us who and what we are to some degree and inspires us to move forward in different ways. Just because you don't have them, right? Misery loves company, slave. While you want to claim to be doing things on the ground, you don't. And the proof is your sub-psychological defense mechanisms. Trying to poison the well for what we do. None of this matters. Just stop it because martial law is coming. Martial law could come right now and it's not going to change. I wouldn't trade these experiences for anything. Guess what? Maybe martial law is not going to come because this system's going to recognize a whole bunch of individuals working together by proxy on what's true and what's right. You ever think of that? You pathetic waste who's already given up? That because we didn't waste our time, energy, attention in our lives and we did something redeemable, that maybe we could change the course of history? Somewhat? Of course you don't think that way because you're a bad faith, dishonorable, broken, given up slave who's not going to do and be nothing here. Okay? And it's pathetic to watch and witness, quite frankly. And you think you have power in it.
Marshall, yeah, there's something about marriage in there where it's like, I don't even know, there might be something there, but then also, oh, fuck, I'm losing it.
The freak, you're done in chat. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of watching you act like a bitch and pick fights in chat because you all want to pipe up in a chat box with your Twitter fingers, but don't want to do it on the ground where it's necessary. Oh, the freak has me blocked and banned, so I can't. Not banned. He has me blocked so that I can't see him and block him. Someone blocked the freak clown. Guys just can't pay attention. They can't be part of the conversation. They refuse to be part of the experience. Then they want to argue and chat with their Twitter fingers about their feelers like it fucking matters.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm gonna get back to work, but I appreciate the people out here who are willing to, not just fucking say, oh, it's okay, do better next time or whatever. I appreciate those who are willing to hold my ass to the fire to make it so I'm better too. And hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try to maybe join up later if you're streaming late, Paul. I usually get off at like 6. If you wanted to review that video, I kind of doxed the hell out of myself. You can hear her read off the fucking VIN and everything, but I don't really care.
Yeah, let's do you and Brian O'Shea. If Brian O'Shea is a little weird lately. He's over here. He won't come over there. I don't know what he's doing, but it's okay. I still support him.
This Paul enslaved guy.
Right. But maybe today we can do, even though it was like a 30-second interaction with Brian, they just left. We could screen that and yours.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Have a good day, fellas.
All right, Julian.
Yeah. Keep having these thoughts that can't seize onto. But yeah, even with martial law, and like Paul's saying, who knows, man? If they're going by the AI, maybe the AI's like, whoa, we might not want to follow through with this plan. It seems like the slaves are waking up a little, and that could backfire. So it doesn't have to go, as bad as we somehow like to guesstimate that it could. Like that snafu wants to cling on, oh, it's just gonna go to shit anyway. So what the fuck does this shit matter?
Yeah,
dude, anytime you're working on your faith, dude, that's insane. That's probably the whole key to this. If you could strengthen your faith, that's exactly what you need in a fucking martial law, tyrannical lockdown situation.
Think about it, O'Shea. If the devil's whole purpose is to deceive everybody away from faith and God, then what better way to do it than make it seem like the world is all but lost, right? The nations are gone, common law is gone, rights are gone, the economy's coming in, it's fear, 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 fear. What's the point of being faithful? It's all done anyway. Just go down with the ship, right? It's the perfect deception campaign by inhabiting every being and allowing them to lie, cheat, and steal or serve this system, and then making it seem to the rest of us who have a conscience and are activated that there's just no point in trying. Just give this place over to whoever, whatever it is, and don't serve God and the truth. In the meantime, see? That's the game, man. The greatest trick the devil ever did was convincing people that it wasn't real. And the greatest lie is the one closest to the truth. You hear me talk about the economy and all the rest of it and all the things that we could be afraid of. And then you hear me talk about how we need to practice being trustworthy and honorable and faithful and surrender the rest from now till then and do the best we can. If not, what's the point? Just be a miserable, diseased, failure, loser, slave like you and rot in a fucking hospital bed and not do or be nothing here? Not change anything about our internals or externals, which are inextricably linked?
Yeah. The faith. Why do I keep fucking losing my fucking thoughts?
Because you're fucking retarded and gay. Gay and retarded. Bad way to go. Not a great way to go through life. I fucking cracked up the other day when you were on the street and you walked up to some guy and you're like, hey, what's going on? And you had some weird question and it was like honest of you. You're like, wow, dude, I think I'm gay. Dude, I'm totally gay. You seemed way too interested in some guy's life or whatever it was. And you're like, hold on a second. I'm broadcasting. I think I'm gay. I'm definitely gay. I'm totally gay.
I got caught up.
Yeah, some guy with his zodiac sign was or something.
Right. Oh man, dude, it is so fucking true. That's all about the fucking faith. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. It's like water, dude. It's like you're starving, or you're thirsty, dude, and you get a drop of water. Like you get a drop of faith. It's like drinking water, dude. You understand, and then you're like, oh, your opportunities to faith and level up are few and far between. It's like being in a desert. But if you could get a drop of water or some sort of moisture in you, and you could feel it, like it's like the mustard seed. Like you only need the tiniest amount to understand it and understand you want more and understand your power. But it's difficult. It's easier to talk to, and people could have false faith, right? That's what we're battling against: the true versus the false and everything, and shame and guilt. To have proper shame, like a lot of these people have, like a lot of us should have. It's like everything's like we're putting shame on the wrong thing.
Right, like the Hell Realmers down there. Someone's pointing out that they like to repeat, children are being sodomized here. It's a hell realm. Panda eyes. You motherfuckers got panda eyes too. You show up on broadcast with the dark circle panda eyes. Who's clapping your cheeks? That's what I want to know. Who's giving you them panda eyes from the back, metaphorically, metaphysically? Devil's your daddy. Right? They're just like all the death worshippers, man. We know what time it is. So, yeah, man, it's again, we're back to the core, faithless and cowardly. You can't feel the faith and you haven't walked it, so you never got the experience, so you never know what to look for or what to access within you, and you're too scared to step out on truth when all things seem hopeless or lost. You're never going to have this experience, and you're going to live the rest of your time faithless and drifting and lost and confused and chaotic and addicted with no meaning and purpose and value showing up truly in your life, right? And that's exactly what this thing wants and counts on, is that it knows your psychology and sociology. It knows what you're going to do by and large. What it doesn't count on, or does count on because it knows itself, so it knows others, is the few and far between, the anomalies, who still have that human element switched on. They're going to say, no, this far and no further. Death is no match to eternity and slavery, because death is an illusion, right? One of the cornerstones of realizing there's more going on here is not only seeing the connections in the universe and realizing there's an objective order here, but realizing that death is an illusion, just like life is an illusion, right? We are a non-physical entity that's incarnated here in a meat suit, incarnate, right? So we take on a physicality. Life and death is an illusion and is really a transitory state of simulation experience for us to choose and learn. And what this thing wants and counts on, and it gets most of the time, is most folks just coming here, working a job, eating their favorite food, fucking some goofy bitch, popping out a child, and waiting to die. And just more grist for the mill, right? More Saturnalian food for the beast and its system that eats its own children, right? Isn't that the archetype of Saturn? But again, what is it supposed to do? Right? If we're not living truly and actualized and realized and fulfilled, and we're living like lowly, pleasure-driven animals with no higher consciousness and purpose, what is it supposed to do other than farm these humans and feed on them? They're not good for anything else, apparently. You know, so if God can't use you, I can't work with you and use you. You're not going to be used to serve the truth. So then you got to live a lie until your number's called, you know, and then that's that. If you're cool with that, I'm cool with it, right? Like I always tell these folks, I wouldn't want to live that way knowing what I know now and having the experiences I've had. Wouldn't trade it for $1 billion. That's what'll scare the shit out of you once you get a hold of this truth, and you can't quit, right? Because you go, what am I going to do? It's like red pill, blue pill. What am I going to do? Go back asleep? Go back into my bed and go to sleep and just live like everybody else? I mean, I could, but what would be the point of that? That's boring too, on top of it. It's fucking boring, man. Imagine me living the next fucking 20, 30 years where I never get stopped by a cop again. I never have to go to court again. I never have to talk the word of God and trust equity and faith. And then what? You can give me $1 billion and a billion bitches, and in between me buying pizza and whatever else and eating pussy, I'm going to need something to do with my time, energy, and attention. Serve God, worship God, serve the truth, put it on record, actualize and realize, live into the fear to cultivate faith. That's the point. They missed the whole point of reality to play the games of reality and indulge in the excesses and entertainments of reality. That's the issue, the identification with the problem or the neutral rather than the solution. Because it's just extras. I'm not saying eating and fucking's a problem. It's extras here. It's cool. It's nice. It's whatever. What else are we doing? Go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was just saying that steak could taste different and the sex could be different. Like, especially if you're with someone who's also standing on business, or you're eating with that person. Like, it's in the Matrix. Oh, the steak tastes so good. It tastes so real. But like, imagine the steak tasting after you just got out of jail for fucking 6 months while you're standing on beef. Like, it's not
Imagine
about
what that shower and everything's like when you live in the fucking trailer, and then it becomes a treat, whether you can afford it or not, right? You live within your means and you do without to give everything up, to be giving it back, to live for what's true and what's right. It's a different perspective, you know? It's not that you can, it's that you don't want to, right?
Right. And these, yeah, I was saying, you know, these partners standing on business, but women recognize that, dude. Women, that's what they want. They want to see someone standing on business. That's attractive to them, just like it's attractive to me watching women do it. But the men should really be the ones leading the example. But I've experienced it watching someone on a stream talk about standing on business, and they became more attractive, someone that might not have been as physically attractive. So you got to remember that from the other side too. No matter how you think about yourself, how you feel like you look, if you stand on business, that's very attractive to a woman. And women are kind of different than men, I think, in that respect. They can completely let go of looks. Like the Shrek, isn't that the thing? The Shrek character, but he stands on business and he can protect. And he's strong. Like a beautiful woman will love that type of person. So.
Right. There's the other side of things too. How many folks are physically attractive, and as soon as you hear them say they took 10 jabs and voted for a master and act like a bitch and a hoe, they just become grotesque in a way. You know, they become completely disrespected and disempowered. It's not to say we can't care for them and have empathy and all the rest of it. We should have that. But realistically, like, do you want to be life partners with someone who can't lead themselves? Who can't lead themselves and be empowered and inspired and discerning? It's not attractive qualities, you know? So I'm sure every woman out there will tell you about the 5 or 10 guys that she's dated who were, you know, physically the hottest out there, who weren't shit as human beings. And it didn't matter how hot they were. They wound up not wanting to fuck them because they were grotesque as a spirit, as a mentality, as a you know, an emotional state. Right, as a conscious and awareness, they were not in alignment with the Most High, so that frequency is low. Right, that attraction factor is low.
Yeah. God damn my fucking brain.
So you need to start practicing. I don't know why I got to tell folks this, that you think that they, you know, get the move, but you got to stop practicing talking from your brain, from your head, right? You got to start practicing talking from the heart, whatever's there, man. You know, whatever's there, like as crazy as, you know, unorthodox, unconventional. The more unorthodox and unconventional, in quotes, the better, you could argue. Right? So that's part of our issue, I think, is folks want to get in their head. They want to talk from their thoughts and their ideas. What's on your heart? What's the energy there? What's the feeling there? Right? What pain is there that maybe is unreconciled for the experiences we've had or that we know we're going to have? Right? Tap into that. Talk from that. Reconcile that. You know, it's like sometimes there's shit in your head and whatever. Sometimes there's not. You know, but it's like there's usually always some kind of sentiment, you know, at the heart base level, right? Even though sentiment, you could argue, is the second word is meant. Right? I think sentiment is more of a core experience, right? Heart base. So the heart has its own mind, is basically what I'm saying. And I think we should practice thinking with the heart and speaking from the heart, if that makes sense. You know, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, because it's like you want to be like, oh, my brain, I don't feel the brain power. Like, but it's up here. But you got to realize, like, your whole spinal cord, like your whole guts, your heart, like you have brain everywhere. Like every cell of your body is part of a brain with like neurons and shit. Like you don't have to be like, oh, my brain's cloudy. It's like you're saying, because people will fight. They're just expressing from their stomach or their heart. Like they'll withhold that out of fear. You know what I mean? Like, because that's going to be real truth or like real shit. You know what I mean? So
the
like,
mind likes to analyze and curate, right? And we're all taught in a culture and society, think before you speak. And that idea, think before you speak, then forces everyone into a constant curation of who and what they are and what they're going to say to be appropriate. See? So now we lost that authenticity. We've lost that process where we embarrass ourselves and then we actualize through making mistakes, in quotes. Are there ever really mistakes? There's only mistakes when people impose consequences because they heard something they didn't like. I'm not here to be liked with what I'm saying. I'm here to learn how to express freely and authentically. The only way I can do that is if I stop thinking before I speak and stop trying to curate what I'm expressing to make it appropriate for all the weak ass slaves around me. See? They give you the exact opposite advice on how to become a real person every fucking time. The only advice they ever give you is how to become a real fucking slave in a cage every fucking time.
yeah, it's like,
that's why you're so great on the street and on stage, because at times you're like, I don't care. I'm willing to say whatever the fuck is in my mind and my heart, you know, up under my balls, whatever it is. That's the key. That's the value. You maintain that energy and that perspective in your life, especially out in public, you will be respected. You will be entertaining. You will be inspiring. You will be all the things and more. That's what believing in yourself really is. Not having to sit there and fucking go over your sentiments, bring them to your mind and analyze them and curate them all in a half a second and then try to deliver it in an appropriate way. That's the antithesis of actualization and authenticity. Makes a damn good slave, though. You know, makes everything run smoothly. Everyone's predictable and knows what to say and not say while we go deeper into slavery and genocide.
yeah, we talk about the power of the child, like to get into heaven, you gotta be childlike, right? And children make a lot of mistakes and they're sort of fearless in that aspect, like in the growth of understanding of right from wrong. Like they just sort of go for it and learn along the way. So if you could adopt some of that out in public, like you're saying, start thinking more from your stomach and your heart, like you're saying.
Yeah, we're gonna have to remove Mitchell because you removed one pathetic stalker hating desperate broke slave and another one filled its place like always. So yeah, I'd rather not I'd rather not be focused on these disgusting cretins. Go get a job, Mitchell. Go find something to do with your time. Go work on your personality because you're utterly insufferable and boring. You're a nice kid sometimes when you're not wicked, but all the time you're pretty uninspiring, unempowered. You're pretty boring, right? And you're not as insightful and reflective as you could be. So maybe stop focusing on me and everyone else who are doing better than you in all ways, and go focus on you and how to get better inside of you with you. Probably a good idea there, kid.
Yeah, like
Thinks
with this
his
whole
life is to teach me something while he has no results and nothing to show.
Look at Paul riding your coattails, bro.
It's not going to work, Snafu. Brian O'Shea will always respect me and value me for what I do, regardless of even how I act, more than you, because you don't do shit. And you're a lying, thieving scum. So I'm sure doesn't even have to like me at times to respect me and what I do and be bonded with me in that. And that's all that matters. So it's not going to work, Snafu. You're constantly trying to divide and create narratives and gossip and hate and do drama in between sucking everybody's feet so that will allow you to be here. You're such a pick-me loser over everybody's shoulder trying to hang out. I could so imagine you doing your prison time, running up to every fucking table, trying to get involved, trying to talk to everyone telling you go fuck off because you're a loser and you're annoying. You know, them only wanting to have you around to laugh at you because you're a pudgy moron who can't get your shit together. You know, that's you over everyone's shoulder. Hey guys, I got something to say. Gossiping about everyone, trying to cause problems. You didn't do any of that in jail because they'd have poked you the fuck up and left you under a bunk. So we know you didn't do any of that while you're in jail. But you're such a loser pick-me with no family and no community and no friends, and you're always trying to be part of whatever non-scene is happening, you know? Just like Mitchell. Oh, there's 2 or 3 of us sitting here talking about life and you know, commiserating in a sense or reflecting and bonding and then like deciding how we're going to move forward and you know, just kind of, you know, checking in with ourselves and each other. And you guys just can't help but to be over everyone's shoulder, trying to listen, trying to inject your perspective, trying to be seen and heard. It's amazing how many times you folks willingly go where you're not wanted or needed. And even when you're told to go away and leave, you just sit there and hang out. You're so desperate.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like back to like the cancel culture type shit, like not allowing people to like make mistakes, like, and people being so afraid and being up in their head. It's like constantly shifting people to their head, which, oh, I'm a brainiac. Oh, I'm so good at school. I'm so logical. Trust the scientist. I don't know, dude. Yeah, it's like, it's so weird because the hardship.
Cowards at heart prefer intellectualism. It allows them to hypothesize without actualizing.
Right, and then the women, so it's like, oh, get back to your heart, which is a feminine quality, but then there's some weird inverse of like toxic feminine. So it's like, once again, the truth, like, yeah, I don't know, it's just hitting me, just get out of your head and just, but that's what we talk about a lot, but it's weird when you talk about it, but then you actually know what the fuck you've been saying. Like, trust your gut instincts, trust your gut instinct. That goes on in conversations and everything, dude, like, especially maybe as you get older, because like your brain capacity isn't the 25-year-old that could just be Mr. Fucking. You could rely on the rest of your neural activity in your heart and your stomach, you know?
Can you imagine this logic? Mitchell's got his next account. He's going to go through his 15 alts now and get them all banned. He's now coping and justifying by saying, you're on the internet, dummy. This isn't a private conversation. So if we were at the park and we were sitting there talking on a stage or not, you would sit there and start throwing things on stage or interjecting or just grabbing the microphone or just like putting up signs and trying to be involved. That's you. You're that guy.
He would do that.
No, he wouldn't do that because something would happen. That's the thing. They only use the internet for insulation to do what they wouldn't do anywhere else. You wouldn't do that. I do that. I'm that guy. I'm on film doing it over and over again with the news and other people and screaming into the camera at MSNBC and the rest of them. You don't do that. You're a meek, cowardly little bitch everywhere in your life. We saw how you acted in front of Brian O'Shea. Like you wanted to rub his feet. You didn't get uppity. You didn't challenge him. You didn't get loud at all. The decibel level did not get up at all. Bunch of chat warriors, right? So it doesn't have to be a private conversation for people to say, we're in public now and you're still a loser. We still don't want to deal with you. We don't want to talk with you. Why are you holding signs? Why are you desperate for our attention? Can you get a fucking life, loser? That dynamic doesn't change, private or public. You're still that. It's still embarrassing. You're still desperate. You still have many of the things you need to be doing that you're not doing because you're fixated on hating on other people. You would think Mitchell would be studying to try to figure out how he's going to handle, with his bitch ass presentment, the fact that he's accused of assaulting a state worker. Got 4 or 5 charges. You know, you think he'd be doing some push-ups and sit-ups to like strengthen that frame of his, that weak little frail frame that's going to get his cheeks clapped if he has to go to federal prison. He's so many things to do. Figure out how to talk better, be insightful, be inspiring, be communicative, right? Not stutter and have synapse relapses where you're like, you know, just twitching and stuttering. You know, try to figure out how to get like more than 100 pounds on your frame in case you got to defend yourself in some kind of situation or risk getting your cheeks clapped. But you probably want that and like that. So in your mind, it's a win-win. Like, I'll just stay skinny and frail. I'll get my cheeks clapped. They'll tap my G spot. And I'll pretend to be some patriotard. You got a lot, you know, try to figure out how to control your nervous system to not call the cops faggots. And challenge them to fights when they beat living shit out of you if they decided to. Stuff like that. I got more, but I don't know if these guys, Timmy, Brian, more, or should we just keep going down the list of things he could be doing to better himself in his life and then avoid future problems that he's constantly creating for himself?
Yeah, like you nailed it. You said, oh, if I met one of you motherfuckers, you'd probably try to hug me or something. Like, that's the same thing with Mitchell, bro. They get all huggy and try to fucking...
Of course.
Like
no, go ahead. I wasn't trying to stop you.
no, I'm saying, yeah.
Even if he did try to say something at an event or in a public area, he would get removed by the quote unquote security team. Him and Snafu would be in the private band area, and they go, "Oh my God, look, they don't allow free speech. They don't allow free speech." It's like, yeah, because you're not wanted here, you idiots.
Then he's still in the chat with another alt. He's saying, I'm hiding in life because I want nothing to do with him. No, Mitch, you're stalking me and you're desperate to be involved with me. And when I say I don't want you around, you say I'm hiding from you. That's gaslighting. That's projection. That's your dysfunction. See, this is why people think you're bizarre. I'm not hiding from you. I'm not scared of you. You're not an intimidating boy. Right? So I don't know what like world you're living in. I just prefer not to deal with retarded, limp-wristed, desperate stalker dweebs who have nothing going on. That's not hiding. That's called you're not wanted anywhere. I know it's tough to cope with that reality, but that's what it is.
And the fun thing is this all comes down to, if you look at the different types of folks, it all comes down to like faith versus fear. So like the ones that don't have any sort of a connection to the I am, they've severed it, or they believe that they've severed it. They don't believe that it's there. They're just in despair mode. They don't believe there's any sort of remedy, quote unquote, in the system or, within it, or they don't believe that. They don't believe there's a potential bright future. It's just hell realm. We're just a bunch of billiards balls on the table. It's just dog world out here.
We're going to leave Colorado to go to Arizona, to where we think Paul is, because he said he was staying in the dirt, in the desert, on the desert. So now Mitchell's like, while he's fighting me and arguing with me, trying to figure out where I am, while he left Colorado to move to southern Arizona. It's so obviously, subconsciously, he's chasing me and wants to be me or with me. And he can't handle the fact that I've not reciprocated that energy from day one. He's trying to meet me for coffee, wants to hang out, says I'm scared of him because I don't want to, tries to leave where he is to come live where I am, keeps trying to find out where I am. Like, you're pretending to want to fight me so you can get with me and try to fuck me. This is some kind of weird thing you're doing, like some kind of woman thing. Like I'm going to start a fight with you and then fuck you out of like makeup sex or something. Like, I just don't want to deal with you. I don't want to interact with you. I don't want to live with you or near you. Stop trying to find out where I am and stop trying to insert yourself into my life. Really embarrassing and pathetic. And you're pretending it's something other than what it is, too. It's kind of an
It's
insult
funny.
to everyone's intelligence.
This guy recently is like, I guess I realized that, I might have to work with some other people, in the coming years on the land. It's just like, I haven't been able to figure that out. Like in a moment of like actual honesty with this fucking guy, he's actually admitting that. And it's like, well, yeah, who in their right mind would want to do anything with you, sir? With your fucking bipolar, antics. Somebody would have to be a fucking moron to do anything long term with you. You have no foundation, Mitchell. You freak.
Well, the dog does, right? They're just like Tommy. They always have a new dog. One dog dies, they get another one. Because, they can't have any humans around. So they got to constantly have an animal around to torture and harass and then claim that like they have a bond. Hello?
Hello.
No, I'm calling someone who just called me. Hello?
Yeah.
Who's this?
My name is Liz with Benefit Solutions. I'm calling about a new affordable dental plan.
Yeah, this is the third time in 2 days.
Dental work.
Hello? This is the third time in 2 days. I keep telling everyone I don't want it. Yeah, I'm not asking for it. You're not saying anything.
Timmy, is that
All
one
right,
of
you
your
know what?
fucking-
Forget what you just called me for. I got another offer for you. All right. United Slave Plan. Oh man, she hung up. All right. Whatever. Call back.
It's incredible.
thoughts?
They keep calling me.
Yeah. They want to waste their time and energy and attention and give me more content. All right, go ahead. I'll fuck with you. I love fucking with these slaves. In their insanity. It gives me something to do. In between the nothing else I have to do, it gives me something to do.
They got you marked as a picker upper. That's a P1 client list. You pick up the phone. That's valuable in the cold calling world.
What did Timmy teach you that?
Yeah. Doing some calls. What was that?
Like as a P1, he will pick up. He never buys anything, but will pick up. Makes you feel good about what you're doing at least.
You can sell to the client. We'll pick up. We'll make you question your existence, but we'll fucking
Paul
pick up.
hurt Mitchell. Mitchell's hurt by me. He's got 15 alternate accounts that he's created to stalk and to hate on me. Mitchell's hurt by me. Mitchell needs broadcast taken down because we hurt him calling his daddy who never called back because he's a coward user like you. Must run in the family. He had no problem hitting me up when he wanted me to save you from jail. But when I called him back, he never got back to me and acted like I didn't exist. A lot of folks do that because they're coward users like you. Mitchell's hurt by me. Mitchell's dad's hurt by me. Everyone's hurt by me.
Somebody down there says I'm another guy scared of being doxxed. That's gaslighting. You're like, yeah, why do you want to have your privacy? Just let all 8 billion people into your life and property. Just invite all the parasites into my fucking world.
I'd say, why don't you give us your bank account numbers, but you don't have one or there's nothing in it.
Right.
So if you did, you probably would. But the rest of us might like to retain some level of privacy if we choose to use it.
So we haven't shared enough about our own fucking private personal lives. This isn't enough.
While we know nothing about Mitchell, by the way.
Right.
While he shares nothing and shows us nothing, we're all scared of him. See the game? See the hypocrisy?
Yeah, I don't know, like he won't even tell us about what his work is. Like he bakes bread or something. It's same thing with Snafu. All these idiots. They're so I got land in multiple places. Okay. And then
Mitchell
at the same time,
animals. He tortures animals. He stalks Paul and he hits women. He's a great guy. I can't figure out why no one wants him around ever. Can't figure out why he's always appearing alone and nobody ever wants him around. And when he is on panel, he has nothing to say. And he's only entertaining when he's losing his mind and freaking out. Like a little middle school girl. He's constantly assassin attitude. And we're all scared of him, right? Like, Mitchell, get a clue of like what reality actually is. Get in the room with the rest of us. I'm gonna send Brian O'Shea over there to rape you. like I did with Annie. You will blow him by the end of this. I'm so tired of you. I'm gonna get you on record for blowing Brian O'Shea. That's how I destroy careers on here. I send in O'Shea and I have you don't know it, but I indirectly have you blow him, and then we extort you on the broadcast and expose you. And that's it. It's all downhill from there. Your career's over. You're never working this town again, because they go, the only thing anyone ever remembers is you blew Brian O'Shea.
Could have Jeffrey be the driver. Fucking yeah. Mitchell fucking brings none of the energy in person. He turns into a little fucking.
Hey, Brian. He's like, he looking down, kicking the floor, and like smiling. Hey, Brian. Exactly what he would do. If I gave him any location, he showed up. He just shows up giggling and laughing, and then trying to go out on a date with me. Where's Slack Cop, man? What are you doing over here anyway? What is this? No one's watching this right now. I don't see numbers, but I know no one's watching.
They're fucking. We got 30, dude. We fucking had to get it on the record.
Man, you got up. All right, you're like gaining on Slow Slave. Got a whole 30 over here.
Yeah, because you're here. Otherwise, it'd be like 15.
Yeah, I mean, I would see. I haven't yet, really. Indirectly, we have with like you're in the intro now, and we talk about you, and your name is the same as your channel. But I might promote your horrible channel more if I could trust you, but I can't trust you because you got like these moods you go into where you're like, I'm horrible person, Brian O'Shea. I'm not shit. Then you go, I'm Superman, Brian O'Shea. I'm better than everyone, and we can't find a middle ground. So like, if I was to promote you and run your numbers up over here, you might never come back to my area. I'm like, I got numbers now. I'm like Slow Slave and Slack Cot and others. I'm doing it. I'm doing it all on my own. I'm doing good.
Nah, that's a good point. I don't know why I get so fucking in my head. I guess I'm just all in my head. Like,
you're acting weird.
Acting
You're
weird.
acting weird. You left me on red, man.
Your hair's weird. Your beard's weird.
Fucking texting this guy, asking him for commitments. He's like, just leaves me on red. Just doesn't reply.
Yeah, he can't commit to anything. He's like, I can't commit. I'm too busy thinking about ending my life. I can't commit to that. I'm reflecting. Because I can't make commitments to better my life because I'm thinking of ending my life. You understand?
Yeah, I can't commit to doing something tomorrow because I may not be here on this realm.
He doesn't understand how commitment works. Like, we let him out of that. Like, if he committed to be here tomorrow and he dies somehow, he's lucky enough to die in his sleep and not suffer. We'd let him out of that. On his fault at that point.
Yeah, death or coma. That's Nubs is another one. Nubs committed 2 days in a row to do these calls, and he flaked both days. I said, and after the first one, I said, dude, you either are dead or in a coma. There's no other excuses.
All right, fine. I'm in a coma. Right. You happy?
And then he didn't appear.
Came back.
O'Shea tried that out one day. He tried to call into work and say he was dead as an excuse. You can only use that one once, though.
It's a call from the app to like, hey, if you're getting this call, it's a voice message. My death made the paper, so I had a guy, send you this message. I'm dead, so thank you for the opportunity. I'm putting in my resignation immediately.
It's like those cops that ate the brownies, him and his wife, and they called the police on the ambulance on themselves. They're like, I think we died. I think we're dead. That's me calling it for work. What the fuck? This sound sucks to do comedy. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I'm too sensitive. Give me problems. Fucking audience. All right, fellas.
All right, I
Timmy.
gotta start preparing anyway, and I want to check in on Slackhot. I want to see what Slackhot's up to. I can't stay away.
Right.
Totally addicted, man. I'm owning it. Aren't you
Yeah, I wanna
interested in seeing him fail again and pretend it's loving? Come on, I know you want some. I know you want it. I know you want to see him say he's going to end wars and legal secrets, fight with people, throw them out, say he's victimized, and say he's loving at the same time.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving Eve, dude. Nothing
You don't
else I
want that?
want. No, I
Yeah, I
want
know
it,
that.
but I can't do it on this fucking. I'd have to switch.
Come on,
to
just a
my
little
laptop.
bit. Let's just do a little bit. We won't do the whole thing, just a little bit. For old time's sake.
You ain't got the keys here? I gotta pull out the laptop.
Come on, just go to the Tal Crack house with us. Tal Crack.
Yeah, just like one little piece, man. One little hit. We'll be all right. We got self-control now. It's been a while.
Timmy,
we can
pull it
totally
up.
stop whenever we want.
You guys pull it up. You guys can just present. Fucking.
That's true. We can. What the hell am I doing here? What am I thinking? All right, let's witness the greatness together.
While
Uh-oh.
he's doing that,
He's fucking
O'Shea.
pissed
We
already.
live in a backwards
Let's
world,
do it.
brothers and sisters.
He's
So
pissed,
let me
Timmy.
get to some points. Here's how to wake up for yourself. Look at yourself. Pay attention to you and how you go through your day. And listen.
Mm-hmm. A lot of you guys aren't listening out here.
Condition yourself to be still within yourself, to be whole, without worry, without problem, without agenda. Just allow yourself
Just
to be
let
without.
go. Just die.
I tell you what, you allow yourself to be without.
Do and be nothing.
You
Just
humble
die.
yourself to the present moment of life.
What's the point
You
in
invite
trying when
in
you're
the
bound to fail at
spirits,
some point?
the good spirits. The
What's the
Holy
point of living when
Spirits
death
of
is just
joy
around the
and
corner?
Comfort and peace. The one that offers
give
the
up.
answers.
It's easier.
In our silence and our stillness,
For those who
we
say
can go
quitters
through
never
the day
win,
just
don't know
lost
the
in
virtue of
time,
quitting.
moment by moment. It's when you have, but
There is no
that
I in
can be
team, but there is a
deceptive because
me.
the other part of this is many people go through the day
M-E. It's right there.
just frantic and chaotic, even when there's no reason to be, just because it's become a habit of themselves. I used to live that way. And the habits of America, it puts people to sleep. The habit of a good
The
job,
world is
the
insane.
habit of a little economic security, it can put you to sleep. And the American dream, it's for those who have not yet awakened.
Success is for those who are not comfortable doing and being nothing.
What frees us from our confusion and our bad habits and our deception, our self-sabotage, what saves us from that, it's truly by the
If you
grace
never
of God,
try, you can never
the
fail,
unknown,
brothers
the
and sisters.
mystical, the magical, whatever name you want to call it.
Never drink the Kool-Aid. You'll never know what life could be on the other
It's
side.
through the truth.
I was this Thanksgiving.
Learning new ideas allows your life to change. Incorporating better practices, better thoughts, better ideas, having clear intentions for your purpose gives your
If you're
life
doing and
meaning.
being nothing, you're freeing
real
up so
easy
much
to
more
get
time and energy to
comfortable
lose
in
everything that
life.
you have.
And run around one group complaining to another group complaining. I unblocked Paul Unslave from the chat, so
I'm not
we'll
in the
see what
chat.
happens. Hey, you
You
know
want
what?
me in the chat.
Since
While
I
claiming
brought
you
up
don't want me there.
names, I'm gonna go ahead and Paul's abandonment
Mitchell's
issues
hurt
are
by me.
itching.
He's an alternate
Everyone say
account.
hi to the coward who advocates
He went
for
to
using the
mommy's
police
stream to
against
complain
his
about me.
internet enemies. He is
I
pocket
don't
watching.
have internet enemies.
I don't
Hell,
know the
loser,
details
failure,
on that.
jealous, envious, latchers on the
Advocates
internet.
using police. Well, Polyboy's juvenile
Here we
tactics,
go.
he chose
Hate
to
on
sabotage
daddy.
me. Imagine starting shit on the internet, then trying to
March
hide
is
behind
coming quick.
police
3 months
stating
away.
you're
Wonder what's
scared.
gonna happen.
Hey, you know what? Part of what I wanted to offer, you know, true minds will share
I'm
wisdom.
going over there to curse him out.
Will focus on meaning. Small minds, bitter minds, egoic minds.
Whatever, yeah,
They
I gotta end this
gossip
fucking
and
thing.
complain a lot. They've got excuses just after excuses. And we've seen some of those characters as part of my
You're gonna hop over
adventure.
here. Wow.
Praise
Okay, okay.
God. I seem to attract the broken and the confused. But this is my life to live. And this is your life to live. Hey, before others join, let me go ahead and bring this up. I meant to put this in the description. I just watched this video right before starting my live stream from Agrippa's Diary. And it's a channel. I love the wisdom he shares. And this one is just it's a sample of Manly P. Hall's, one of his lectures. And Manly P. Hall shared a lot of wisdom.
Time vanishes into eternity throughout our day is the most. I suppose that time is the most remarkable dimension within which we live throughout our daily experiences in this world. Time vanishes into eternity, and beyond the life we live now, there will only be occasional embodiments within time dimensions. But these can become very important.
Oops. This was the screen I was actually looking for in this video. It's from Manly P. Hall, Psychology and Self-Improvement, making the best possible use of time. This is something I was considering earlier, and I skimmed it. The gift, the unrecognized opportunities we have to be alive at this time. Holy cows, man. I watched a video last night, some of the new discoveries on how light, through the mechanisms of our eye, how light actually affects our metabolism and our physical body. It's affected by the light. So more science is showing that some of the common behaviors, the blue light screens or whatever that it means, we have a society that is so competitive. Everyone is at war with themselves. They've lost purpose in their lives. That's what I did.
Yes, that's what
my
you're doing.
purpose was hidden behind my excuses. I made excuses for myself, even though I was miserable. I made excuses of why I was miserable, why things couldn't change. I lost sight. God allowed me, by God's grace, my life transformed. Part of my story. In the transformation of my life, I gained a different perspective of the world. And in the different perspective, my opportunities to learn ideas from other people, it's allowed me to grow in my own being of who I am. The value I am is what I can share. And God has blessed me with opportunities to learn and to realize a lot of things. Regardless of the knowledge and the explanations, again, a thing I mentioned yesterday, there are infinite variables involved in life. I mean, just right now, beyond the technology and the society that has the power and the shares the power and energy to do everything. Damn. I think I was going with the blessings. I don't know. Weird. I lost. Sorry for that. I sometimes do. I think my mind chases off on an idea and I forget
See, Brian
where I was
O'Shea, why you
going
don't
and
try to trust
sometimes
your
where I
mind, which
even
is
started
faulty
from.
with delusions and
here.
hypotheses? It's boring
I
as
have
well.
been blessed.
He's boring the
to
shit out
learn
of
a lot
everyone and making
different
no
things,
sense because he's talking
okay?
from his
But
hypothetical mind space
behind the complexity
imagination.
of life, there's a
Right.
common.
How about talking about your firsthand experience
There's a
and speaking from the
commonality.
heart? Oh,
There's a
wait.
unity. The expectations on us from God, they're not like the religion has taught, has conditioned. Because like I said earlier, I heard this term early.
All right, I gotta get ready, O'Shea. I'll see you over there if
How
you want to come over.
religion has been
All right, brother.
used as a coping mechanism.
Fucking Talcott. This fucking. That is the learning lesson for today. Get out of your fucking head and get into your gut and your heart. Easier said than done, people. The word. Water flowing, blood flow, veins, rivers. That's where the ideas and the communication comes from. The flow of communication. The give and take. All right, y'all. Just wanted to get this documented. Police come tippy tapping on my window. I got to get out of my head and use my gut and just go on pause and just wing it and let it be whatever it is. And that's that. Keep it simple, stupid. All right. Let's enjoy some Talcottian pie. Thanksgiving. He's like pumpkin pie. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.